What is going on, guys? It is Trader Cause coming to you with another episode of Kicking It with Cause. We have this recorded episode, and then today's Tuesday the 8th, and then on Thursday the 10th, we will also do another recorded episode. After that, we're back to the normal schedule of live streaming on Tuesday and Thursday, but it seems like you guys really like these short ones. If you do, let me know, and if there is a lot of demand for them, I'd be happy to sprinkle in a few of the recorded ones every now and then as well. But for now, only recorded as I'm still away, not at my main computer and desk, just have my laptop. So let's get into it. And before we get started, I want to give a shout out to my sponsor, Bybit. They are my preferred derivatives exchange for trading Bitcoin and Ethereum specifically. I think they're the best in the business in terms of order execution, and we've been seeing a lot of sketchy stuff from other exchanges recently. So make sure you are using an exchange that you trust, and for me, that is Bybit. So if you want to check them out, if you appreciate these videos, you can check out the link in the description to show them some love and show me a little bit of support. So let's talk about Bitcoin. I want to talk about Bitcoin. I want to talk about Ethereum, and I want to talk about Sol. All are looking pretty solid. So if we look at the weekly time frame, we had an inside week here. We've had these a few different times, and I think here we're getting inside week failure, where we have an inside bar and then we sweep the low of that consolidation and then push up from there. So you can see here we had an inside week, took out this low and then rallied from there. And then also here there was an inside week. We took out that low, pushed up a bit from there. So now we had these two inside weeks. Now we've just taken out the low, and the key level to hold is this 33,386. So we're kind of right around that level. It doesn't need to hold today or whatever, but that's the level where we are more bullish above, and where I definitely want to see a weekly close above. We're still early in the week. There's still 5 days left in this weekly candle, but this is something that I am keeping an eye on, and that low at 33,300 or roughly 33,400 is one that I want marked on my chart. Quickly, the Ethereum weekly, we are putting in our third inside candle in a row. So here the high was 2,912, then the high is 2,890, 2,850 here. So the high and the low of every single one of these weeks has held, actually even this one too. So you could say this is our fourth. But again, that low is one that I am looking for. Zooming in a little bit, we're putting in a really nice daily candle here. We just barely took out this low with a really small wick, but we are above Monday's low from this week, and we're looking to reclaim Monday's low from last week. This candle closes in 30 minutes, but this is shaping up really nicely to at least be a near-term bottom. As you guys know, with my higher time frame bias around here, I kind of just expect us to range, and so I want to be buying down here at the range lows, selling around 40K at the range high. So I would expect this to push up to around 40K, and then we'll just see. If we just keep on ranging, it's honestly going to give us some really nice market conditions, and we can just keep milking the range. So we'll see what we get. So let's zoom in. I'll clear up some of these levels. On the 4-hour, we have this low right here, which I believe is the weekly low from 2 weeks ago that I really want to see us hold above. And then we have last week's Monday's low, and then this week's Monday's range. So we are above Monday's low from this week, which is a good sign. I'd like to see us hold that, but with the daily close coming, we're going to have to put in a low at some point in the new daily candle. So what I'm kind of expecting is to move down somewhere like this and then get back above. If it does something like this, I think you can enter here with a relatively tight stop loss at whatever the low is of that dip. And I think that could be a great way to get long if you aren't already. Personally, I got long initially yesterday around 32.5 in this region. When I woke up today, I added at 31.5. So now my average entry is around 32.1, I want to say. But if we get something like this, I'll look to add and move my stop loss up from here over to here. Okay, so that's kind of my plan in the next day. I'm expecting something like that to play out. And a pullback here wouldn't really be bearish at all to me. I think that would be healthy PA. I don't want this to just go straight up and go to here. I mean, I'd be fine with it, but I think it's a healthier structure, easier to add more positions, easier to trail your stop if we get more of an uptrending structure like this rather than just going straight up. So initial targets will be Monday's high at 36.8K, above this high at 38K, and then last week's Monday's high, let me pull that up right here. So basically 40K above these highs. So that's kind of how I'm playing it right now. It is subject to change based on the price action, but if you're not long already, I would look for a dip in the next like 6 to 8 hours during the Asian session if we do get a bit of a pullback, something like that, as I said before, and then get back above Monday's low, and then you can also look to compound above 34.2, which was last week's. Pretty straightforward with Bitcoin, I would say. If this does push down again, I will be watching this low here. I don't think we have to go take it, but that's where my next long setup would come from if this rolls over. Trying to think. So yeah, if that happened, I would basically just get stopped out at 31K and then look to enter a new long, something like this. I'm not really interested in shorting. Like if we break this down into a range, this whole region, right? Something like this. I'll make it a little thicker. I want to be looking for I want to be looking for shorts in this top quartile. I guess I drew that a little off, and that was even worse. But you can kind of visualize it. The top half of the upper mid-range, and then I want to look for longs in this lower half. And that's what I'm doing here. So I don't want to take a short right here when we are in the lower fourth of this range. And if we do something like this, I'll absolutely be looking for more longs. I know it kind of goes against what your emotions would say, because it's like, oh, we're dropping a lot, we need to be bearish, but this bottom fourth is where I want a long, and then this upper fourth is where I want to look for shorts, because I think we just continue to ping pong back and forth in this range. And crypto Twitter is just going to tell you to be bullish here, and it's going to tell you to be bearish here. So try and drown out some of that noise and just stick to your plan. So no short plans currently. I think later in the week we will have some short plan. Like if we sweep that high or something, we could look for a short down to here. Or if this pushes up and then breaks down below here and can't get back above Monday's low, then we might look for a short. But overall bias in this region of the range is bullish. We want to look for longs in this region. So 6 hour time frame actually looks pretty good too. We're about to get a close above here, and this would form a 6 hour breaker there. So maybe something like that. It would line up with what I drew out on the hourly time frame as well. I think that's pretty much all I have to say about Bitcoin. I think something like this is still the best opportunity to get long. I apologize that the chart is getting a bit messy, but the main level is Monday's low, and that lines up pretty much exactly with this low. So that 33.3 area, give or take, is where I'll be looking to compound. I'm already long. I longed yesterday and today. My stop is at the low, but if we get something like this, I'll look to move that stop loss up to 32 point whatever, wherever this pulls back to, whatever the higher low is. That's what I want to move my stop to, and then play it from there. So Ethereum I didn't get a long trigger for Ethereum because it never took out last week's Monday's low. It has been stronger than Bitcoin, but today it was a bit weaker. ETH BTC had a down day. Not down enough though, because I really wanted to see it take out that low, and if it did, that would have been a great long signal. It might just leave that low untapped if Bitcoin rallies from here, and if it does, I will look for another setup on Ethereum. But I just wanted to look at it because I know some people would be asking about why I didn't cover it, and it's pretty much because we missed that low. However, if we get a pullback and then flip above our high time frame mid-range and last week's Monday's mid-range, which I'll clear that and just throw a line on here. That's last week's Monday's low, and then let's look at this week's Monday's mid-range, Monday's range. We've got high up here, low right there. Customize that a little, hide that, there we go. So I'd like to see it get above 2,565 to be really bullish on Ethereum, and ideally it does something like this before getting above, and then that way we can have our stop loss here rather than having it at 2,300. I think this is a good opportunity to get long, but I didn't have any like bottom buys or anything like that on Ethereum because we did fail to take out that low. So that's the only Ethereum plan right now. And lastly, we'll look at Sol, trying to keep the video under 15 minutes. I took a long on Sol yesterday, or today, I guess you could say, depending on what time zone you're in. But it was definitely today's daily candle, only like 10, 12 hours ago, something like that. We have this nice 4-hour demand here. We had our initial spike into it, and now we just swept the low. Really nice reaction from that level. We also had a lot of nice hourly divs lining up here too. So I entered right before that hourly close with a stop at the low. So that trade's riding around 1.7R. I have taken 25% off because this has pretty much gone vertical, but I do think we have a pretty nice level here on Sol. If it pulls back into there, I think that's a nice place to add. Stop loss has to stay there for now though. But that was a really clean setup on Sol. The sweep into the 4-hour demand, really nice reaction. You can enter on the hourly close that confirms that sweep. So just wanted to review that one really quick. I didn't have a chance to post that on Twitter live, so I'm not gonna try and claim any clout for it or anything weird like that, but I just want to show you guys the kind of setups that I look for so that you can look for them in the future. So looks like Bitcoin might be able to close this daily candle green. Nice daily candle forming, and we're pretty much right at the daily open. So this is kind of what I'm looking for. If it goes straight up from here, I'm not going to be mad because I am already long, but this is what I would like to see to compound that long. If you made it this far, 13 and a half minutes or so, appreciate you for tuning in. And once again, shout out to Bybit for sponsoring the video. If you guys have any questions about their exchange as a whole or anything like that, feel free to DM me on Twitter, and I would be happy to help you out. So link for that is in the description. Link to my Twitter and free Telegram is also in the description. I will talk to you guys on Thursday for the next episode. Have a good one.